Hey, what's good, y'all? Don't mind the eye. I got hit. Well, I got elbow playing basketball, but I got the video y'all been waiting for. Let's get to it. What's good, y'all? Let's go ahead and break this down. We're gonna go ahead and start from the bottom to the top. So we'll go ahead and start with my feet. I tilt my feet, so I'm gonna tilt the shooter. So I like to have my feet tilted to like around maybe like 11 o'clock. So alright. As you can see, my feet right there is tilted. My base is it's not shoulder width apart, but it's like kind of close, but it's not too close. I land on my toes, so whenever I get on my shot, I always stay on my toes. So as I get into my shot, I get on my toes. As you can see right there, my toes are the only ones on the ground. And after I release the basketball, I land on my toes. And that's something every shooter, everybody, every player has to do. You never want to land on your heels, man, because you'll just cause injuries to yourself and it won't be comfortable at all. Always start with your toes on the ground and end with your toes on the ground. Alright, so also, I sweep and sway. If you don't know, the sweep and sway is a technique that many of the great shooters use, like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen. A lot of players use it. The sweep and sway is whenever your feet sweep forward and your back naturally leans back. So whenever I say naturally, I mean that you don't force your back to lean back. It just goes back like automatically, because whenever you sweep your feet forward, it naturally just leans back. So notice how my feet starts right here, and after my release, it lands right on the line. So notice how it went forward. Notice how it went forward. Started here, and now it's right here. Like, the farther you get, the more of a sweep you'll have, but you never want to oversweep, because if you oversweep, that'll cause you to hurt your shot, and you're gonna start missing from like the sides, along. You're gonna start missing everywhere. Trust me, I know, because right now I jump up and down when I shoot, and I've always said never jump up and down, but it's okay to jump up and down. But the further you get away from the basket is whenever you never want to jump up and down, because you're just gonna like cause like uncomfortable tension in your upper body, shoulders. So if you're like in the mid-range area, like right here, it's okay to jump up and down. Maybe if you're like a little kid, then you might sweep and sway right here because you don't have like the strength and power. But as far as like NBA range or college range, then most players will sweep and sway, like myself. Like right now, I'm like high school. Maybe this will be like college range right here, because college ain't that far. But yeah, I sweep and sway just like a little bit. You never want to over sweep your feet, because that'll hurt your shot like a lot. Alright, we'll go ahead and get to my upper body. So okay. Alright, so I am a one motion shooter, meaning that I shoot the ball in one motion with no pauses or hitch, and it stays in front of my face whenever I shoot. So notice how the ball, it shoots it in one motion. There's no pauses, there's no hitches. It stays in front of my face, and it's just a smooth one motion shot. Along with that, my release point, it varies at times. So whenever I'm like shooting a mid-range, my release point is usually going to be a little more higher than if I were to shoot like a three-pointer from high school, college, or even NBA range. So whenever I'm like shooting mid-range, my release point will sometimes be like my eye or my eyebrow. But whenever I shoot further back, that's whenever my release point kind of goes down a little bit lower. And that's fine. That's like, that happens to mostly every player. If you look at Steph Curry, like whenever he gets like farther away, his release points kind of gets down a little bit, maybe towards like his eye. And the reason for that is because it feels comfortable for me. Yeah, there's a lot of players who have their eyebrow as their release point, but for me myself, I believe that's kind of uncomfortable for me from shooting from NBA range with the eyebrow release point, because whenever I tried it, I felt like I was pausing the ball and I felt like I was shooting like a T-motion shot because it felt uncomfortable. And of course, whenever you try something new, you're not always going to get it the first time, but I tried it rep after rep. It just really didn't feel right. So I was like, alright, I'm just going to stick with how I feel was comfortable for me. So that's why whenever I shoot from deep, my release point can sometimes be around my eye or my nose. And that's okay. And if you're like a small player, your release point might be at your chin or even your chest, and that's fine. Whenever you grow up and continue to get stronger, that's whenever your release point will naturally go up whenever you get older. Alright, so I'm a palm rotation shooter. Along with that, I'm a middle finger shooter. Here's a funny thing. I could have brought y'all this video like a long time ago. I know y'all been waiting for it. But the thing was, I used to be a split finger shooter. So that means I shot with my index finger and I shot with my middle finger. Both of those two fingers. I shot with those two for like a long time. But here's the thing, bro. I don't know why. I felt like my accuracy was off. And I felt like I'll have good backspin on my shot, but I feel like maybe shooting with the middle finger is, because I've always always whenever I shoot like a half court shot, I always shoot with my middle finger. I have good rotation, bro, and it feels good. It feels natural. So I'm like, okay, I know for sure I get great backspin with my middle finger, and it feels good. So let me go ahead and try shooting with my middle finger again real quick, because I used to be a middle finger shooter, but I switched back to split, and then just now, maybe like a month ago, I switched back to a middle finger. So I went and tried it out, man, and it felt great. I mean, as you can tell, I'm not trying to boost myself or whatever. Come on, man, click. Alright, there we go. Yeah, I'm a middle finger shooter now, man. Like, it feels way more comfortable, and my backspin is crazy. It's crazy good. Like, I never had that much backspin until I shot with my middle finger. Having backspin is good. It's something that you gotta have. I mean, if you don't have good backspin, that's fine. If you make shots, the whole key is to make shots. If you can make shots, then you Gucci. But I felt like shooting with my middle finger is even more better. So that's why I changed back to it. I repped it out, and it felt good. It felt great. So let me show y'all real quick. So as a shooter, whenever you could be an index finger shooter, you could be a middle finger, you could be a split, or you could be a cookie jar, all 5 fingers down. So whatever finger you shoot with, that finger will always be pointed towards the ground the most. So whenever you release the basketball, all your fingers are going to be pointed down, but for that finger that you shoot with, like you release with, that last finger to release from off the ball, that finger should be the one pointed towards the ground the most. So I'm a middle finger shooter, and notice how my middle finger is pointed towards the ground the most, right here. I'm going to show y'all again. There it goes again. Just pointed towards the ground the most. Also with that, middle finger shooters, it's a bit tough to put your middle finger in the middle of the basketball, because you can, but you're gonna feel so much tension in your forearm. That's why the palm rotation can help you out. So Steph Curry, the name of the guy, he's a palm rotation shooter. That's whenever you put your hand on the side of the basketball and it rotates towards, so it'll be on the side of the basketball, right? And as you go up into your release, your hand will slide right under the basketball. So notice how I got the hand right here. Okay, pump fake. Middle finger in the middle. But notice how when I go up, my hand is kind of towards on the side of the basketball. And whenever I get to my release point, it ends up under it. Now y'all might say this is a chicken wing, but in my opinion it's not a chicken wing, because the way that the camera's angled right now, it kind of looks like I have one, but no, it's not. It's just my forearm is a little bit tilted to the side, and that's fine. If you can shoot, it doesn't matter how you shoot, bro. If you can make shots on a consistent basis, bro, and it feels comfortable for you, that's all that matters. Never try to copy someone's form all the way. You can try to steal somebody's technique and see if it works for you, and if it works, great, keep on shooting that. But if you're bricking and you can't make it and it feels so uncomfortable, bro, just don't even budge, man. Like, always feel free to take things from great shooters, but never try to copy someone's form, because again, I repeat, because some of y'all be asking me like, hey, how do I shoot like this and shoot like this play? Like, man, bro, you can't shoot like them 100%. You gotta shoot the way that feels comfortable for you. Again, you can take things from them, but you never can steal their form, because that form is for them. Our bodies are all different, so what works for him might not work for you. Just a quick tip. Yeah, so I'm a prime rotation shooter. Along with that, okay, so I follow the ball with my eyes. So what that means is every time I release a basketball, I look at the ball. There's many players, whenever they shoot the basketball, they always stare at the rim, and there's nothing wrong with that. Looking at the rim is fine, but I would prefer to look at the ball. So whenever you look at the ball, you give yourself the advantage to say, okay, after you release the basketball, you look at the ball, you can tell where it goes. So if it's going to the left, you can tell, hey, it's going to the left. Or if it's going to the right, oh, it's going to the right. Or if you can see it going in, because you shot that shot so many times, you're already confident, you already know it's going in. That's another reason why Steph Curry himself, you notice how every time he shoots, sometimes he just turns around, because not because he's confident, it's because he looks at the flight of the ball for himself too, and that's how he knows, oh, it's going in. So I'll look at the flight of the ball. Let me show y'all real quick. See it right there. Show y'all again. Oh yeah, okay. I'm going up. I'm looking at the rim right here, and notice how my eye looks up and it goes looking at the ball. Once it goes to the net, I go and look towards the rim and see it go through. Remember, man, it's not something everyone has to do. If you're a great shooter that doesn't look at the flight of the ball, that's cool. If you want to add that to your game, go ahead and add that. Alright, so the last thing is going to be my offhand touch. So as a shooter, okay, so as a shooter, your offhand should never interfere with your shot unless you have a slump leg. So your offhand should either be pointed up or towards the rim. So the offhand touch is whenever I bring my offhand towards my right hand. So every time I release the basketball, I shoot with one hand, and after I release it, I touch my right forearm right here. I don't smack it or nothing. I just, after I release the basketball, I shoot with one hand. I don't have a thumb flick at all. I shoot with one hand, and after I release the basketball, my left hand goes and touches my right forearm. And that's something that I got from Steph Curry, and I also got from some player at my high school that I went to, because he was winning shots like crazy. And I'm like, that, and I was like, bro, like, it looks dope too. I'm like, man, I gotta add this, see if I can add this to my game, because it looks dope and it seems like it could work. So I went home, tried it out myself, went to the gym, tried it out. I'm like, man, this actually works and it feels great. So I've had the offhand touch ever since. It's supposed to help your shot become more balanced, and it's supposed to help your offhand become balanced. So your offhand won't be doing no like weird funny things or whatever. Remember, I shoot with one hand, and after I release the basketball, I just softly touch my right forearm. That's it for the video, man. That's my shot breakdown. Once again, I could have brought y'all this a long time ago, but I felt like I needed to tweak my shot. So I went ahead and tweaked my shot, and it worked out great. I'm not saying I'm the best shooter alive, but I feel like I'm a good shooter. I still got a long ways to go, and I'm still a work in progress, man. You're just gonna keep on working, and the success will come later on. Hope y'all enjoyed the vid. Make sure to like, subscribe, share. And we just hit 2K subs, man. I really appreciate all y'all, man. It's been a year since I started, because I started last January. I started from 0, and now I have 2K 1 year later. It's only like a little amount, but hey, you gotta start small somewhere, and you just gotta continue to work, and your time will come. Hope y'all have a great day, and I'll see y'all in the next vid.